everyone. Hello,
Yay!
we're live. It just happened like that. It's Derek. And I'm here with Dr.Ibby Omole, and her and I met just a few months ago when I went into her office looking for some answers in regards to some of the things that I was feeling inside. And originally we were going in for some hormone testing, but then Dr. Ibby was like, "Have you done your genetic testing?" And I said, "No." And she's like, "That's where we need to start." So welcome to the show, girl.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So tell everyone a little bit about genetic medicine and how this is like the new thing.
So basically, genetic medicine uses your genetic material, which is inside all of us, to figure out health risks, hazards, and also for preventive medicine. So I actually got into this a couple of years ago personally for me. I'm a mother of two boys. I've always been active. And I discovered that all my health stuff I used to do just wasn't working anymore. So I noticed I was kind of starting to gain weight, in the midsection, which nobody likes. And I was doing a workout, doing HIIT workouts, doing heavy weights. And it seemed like I was getting more subcutaneous fat. And then all these aches and pains started creeping up as well. And I kind of just decided to do my 23andMe. I just used 23andMe to figure out my genetic material, just out of curiosity. Honestly, it was just simple curiosity to see, is there any legitimacy to all this genetic stuff that people are talking about? And I've been completely blown away since I've done mine. And now I'm actually encouraging more people to look into this as a way to really live vibrant, healthy, robust lives and stop guessing about your health and what you should eat or how you should exercise. I mean, it's just, I could go on, but I'm sure we'll probably get into it.
Okay, awesome. So since you've done the test, you now have changed sort of like your diet and how you work out. Like how has it transformed your life?
Oh my gosh. So, okay, for example, I used to run track. I've always been very active. I was super active before I had my boys. And, they tell you eat 3 meals a day plus snacks. So of course I was eating 3 meals a day, lots of whole grains, vegetables, proteins. And since doing my, genetics, I've actually discovered that I don't do well with grains or carbs. So even though I was having really healthy grains, brown rice, quinoa, all this stuff, I really need to limit the amount of carbs that I have each day. And I definitely was not eating enough protein. And I only need to eat twice a day, which obviously my problem was I was just eating way too many calories for my metabolism. So all the stuff I did when I was in my 20s and 30s that worked for me weren't working for me anymore now that I'm in my 40s. And, I'm a mom of two boys. I have a practice. Life is just busier and more stressful. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. Like, I don't have time to be at the gym 5 days or 6 days a week anymore doing a 1 hour workout. So it's really helped me to just narrow in on how to eat, how to exercise. I definitely have to manage my stress. Part of my problem with my weight and my hormones was definitely not managing my stress well enough. So just being very clear, saying no. Like sometimes I just have to say no and just take some downtime. I used to be a night owl. I feel like my brain just fires at night, which is totally not good for me. Like I need to be in bed by 11 o'clock at the latest. So I've been working really hard to just go to bed earlier and do more meditation and just kind of really listen to my body and take care of myself. And I feel amazing. And I'm just so amazed at how much energy I have now. And all my little aches and pains are no longer there. My period is a breeze. It's just like so many things. My skin is clearer. I'm thinking better. I just feel great. Kind of like the way I felt when I was in my 20s and 30s, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, it's been amazing for me. And I just want people to know that this is an option for you. If you're tired and you're stressed and you're looking for answers, this is definitely a viable option to explore to see if it'll help you with your health issues and just allow you to have a better life. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically someone will go online and order the 23andMe and they'll put in their spits, like saliva, is it, or?
Yeah, so the way it works, and I'm not affiliated with 23andMe, so I don't have any dealings with the company whatsoever. I just use them to get your raw data. So you buy your 23andMe kit, and it's a saliva sample. So you just have to spit in a test tube. It's actually fairly easy. You mail it away to them, and the turnaround takes anywhere from 3 weeks to 6 weeks. And when you get your results, that's when you get in touch with me. And then I'm looking for the raw data. So that's what I have another tool that helps me interpret the raw data. And I'm looking for certain, they call them SNPs that have been related to health. So these are just kind of, maybe risk factors, you want to call them, or they're just ways for you that you could tweak how you detoxify and hormone balancing and figure out what kind of diet you should have and how well do you handle stress. So it actually gives you quite a lot of health information that you can implement to, and it's really interesting when people do this. They're like, wow, I've always felt that way. I've always felt like I don't do well in a lot of carbs, or I don't need a lot of protein. So it's amazing how much we intuitively know. And for whatever reason, we don't listen to ourselves, or, maybe it's just there's so many things going on. So for a lot of people, it's really kind of affirming some things they've always known about themselves. And then it's really easier to implement the changes because you're like, yeah, this totally makes sense. I've always felt that way about myself. But now this is something just showing you that, yeah, this really is how you are. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So can you recommend supplements, and like as a naturopathic doctor, what kinds of preventative things can you help with or do for people?
Oh my gosh. So this is the cool part. And even for me as a doctor, you kind of like, for example, you tell people, oh, everybody should be on fish oils and, you need a probiotic. And what I'm finding is that, well, maybe some people don't need fish oils. Because their body's able to take, like if you eat fish and other foods that are high in omega-3 fatty acids, your body can convert it. And other people have a problem with that. So they do need fish oils. Some people have issues with the way they metabolize or activate vitamin D. So those people need more supplementation than other people. So I could give advice, and it makes it so much easier now, because now I can say, hey, you need a multivitamin, you need fish oils. Like, it's just very targeted because everybody's unique and different. So the supplement protocol is really targeted to the individual, and you're only getting supplements that your body needs. And we just take it from there. So it's actually pretty cool, because now you're just taking what your body needs as opposed to taking a whole bunch of stuff that may or may not be beneficial. Maybe you could just eat certain foods and you don't need to take a vitamin A supplement or, other supplements, because you can get these things from your diet. So it's actually a pretty cool way to figure out what needs to be supplemented, what can you get from your diet. And I could also help people with exercise. So for example, people are just trying so many things, right? Your friend next door tells you that, oh my goodness, I just started spinning, or whatever the case may be. I'm doing HIIT workouts and I feel amazing. So you decide to try it. Well, maybe those work for her, but they don't necessarily work for you. So it's really nice to just zero in what kind of exercise is actually well suited to you genetically. And you just play to your advantages. And those are the exercises you do. And so for me, I work out like 3 to 4 times a week. And I found that for 40 minutes, that's it. And I don't really need to do anymore because I'm doing exercises that I'm genetically good at. And so I'm not really wasting time and spending my time doing exercises that maybe actually, believe it or not, depend on your genetics. Doing heavy weights can actually make you gain more fat, more subcutaneous fat. And I'm one of those people. If I do really heavy weights, I don't get more defined. I actually get softer, and I develop more fat underneath my skin. And who wants that, right? So it's been, I'm back to doing yoga, and I'm back to doing my, my more body weight stuff. And I feel like my physique is back to what it used to be. So it's actually pretty cool to just,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I am committing to doing my 20 be like,
yay.
Thursday. I would love to do a follow-up interview even and figure out what we learned from it, and then to see, cool to like live that, even just to see the things that I maybe intuitively knew, some things that I maybe didn't know. Like, would it let you know if you're like low on iron, or does it let you know any of these types of things, or how you process different vitamins?
Well, it doesn't let you know if you're low on anything. It just tells you that you may be predisposed to, it just gives you risks, your predispositions, right? And so I think people are afraid of genetics because they say, oh, I don't want to know. And just because you're genetically one way doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to express it, right? So all these genes we're either turning them off or turning them on, right? And so you could have a particular genetic makeup, and based on your lifestyle, it never gets turned on. So for example, I have one of the genes for obesity. And looking at me, obviously I'm not obese. But I have all these lifestyle changes that I've made, and that gene is not getting turned on. And because of that, I am not obese. But a lot of the control of our genetics has to do with the environment. So we actually do have a lot of control about, whether or not we turn certain genes on and off. And we're not talking about mutations, which are like, completely different. But so basically, if you do the test and it says that, wow, you don't activate vitamin D very well in your skin, or that your carrier molecule doesn't deliver vitamin D very well to the tissues, then you could do a lab test, right? So just because your genetic is showing one thing doesn't necessarily mean that you're expressing it, but that's when okay, these are the labs we have to do. So as opposed to just running a whole bunch of random labs, you could just run labs that pertain to your genetic risks. So it's through the labs that you can find out that, oh, wow, yes, you are low in vitamin D, or you're low in vitamin A, or, vitamin B12 or vitamin B9. These are all things that can easily be checked with a lab test. So it's actually pretty cool that way. And the things that you're okay in, then you don't have to do anything about it. Just keep doing what you're doing and periodically check in to see where your levels are at. And that's pretty much, it really streamlined everything for people. Like, me as a physician, it definitely streamlines the process for me with people. And I think people feel good because they're like, okay, I'm doing the testing that needs to be done, and I'm getting the supplements that I need, because it's just very personalized. Like, it's for you based on your genetics. And so, it's fantastic for everybody involved. And it's super rewarding for me as a doctor, because I feel like when people follow their genetic recommendations, you see results. Like, you definitely see results. Yeah, it's awesome.
So if anyone's in the South Surrey area, because that's where you're located right now, you are offering, if they book a consultation with you, they get a free adrenal booster?
Yeah. So actually, I have quite a few people, they love them. So an adrenal booster is just basically all your major B vitamins, right? So B12, B1, B9, B2, it's all put into a solution. It's a little cocktail. And it's an adrenal booster because when people are really stressed out, you need your B vitamins, and you kind of burn through your B vitamins when you're under a lot of stress. So for a lot of people, it's a great way for them to it's like a little pick me up that you could do. You kind of feel good after you get it done. And so, yeah, it's fairly popular with my, a lot of my patients kind of come in, and they'll come in once a month or whatever, or sometimes every other week, to just kind of get a little boost. And also for people that are like, I'm terrible with taking supplements and I'm not going to remember, this is a really good option for them, because you get your injection, it goes straight into your bloodstream, and you don't have to worry about, taking your B vitamins. It's in your muscle. And so it's fairly easy.
Yeah, and doesn't that absorb better sometimes than those, like all supplements are not created equal, right? Like there
True.
are,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, not all supplements are created equal. And of course, you want to be taking the active form of a lot of your B vitamins. And so all these vitamins are in their active form. When you're taking vitamins orally, a lot of times it has to go through the digestive system. But when you inject it, you just bypass the gut. So for people with gut issues, or this is also another great option because you get your cocktail. It's usually in your arm or your butt cheek, for some people that don't want their arm, and it goes straight into your tissue. So it completely bypasses the digestive tract and you're getting like 100% of what's being injected. So it's a really good option for people.
Yay. Okay. Well, I will put your link below for people to
Awesome.
come to your website as well, because you do have a free detox ebook guide for them to check out as well. And then if anyone is in your hood and you'd like to see Dr. Ibby, I highly recommend maybe getting your test done and then booking your first or having a consult with her, getting your B vitamin boost, and then 23andMe, and then working through that with somebody who can actually read those results, because I know a lot of times people might get some testing done, but then they have no idea what to do with the information that they get back, right? So it's nice to have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because when you get your 23andMe, it tells you stuff like you have blue eyes and, you smell asparagus in your pee, that kind of stuff. But I think that's fun, but I'm really interested in more of the more clinical information that's embedded in all that other stuff you're getting. So yes, if you want a little bit more in-depth analysis of, what's going on within your body, then that's kind of where I'm focusing my energy right now. Definitely more preventive medicine. I'm using genetics.
Awesome. Dr. Ibby, thank you so much for coming on the show. And
Thank you.
I so look forward to getting my results, and we'll do a follow-up video, because I think that would be really fun.
That sounds awesome. Thanks so much for having me. It's been great.
My pleasure.
All right.
Everybody be proactive.